I got to know Ron because he was several years ahead of me in the MD PhD program at Urbana-Champaign. Within that MD PhD program, there's an even smaller number of us who were identified as LGBTQ. So we came to know one another and get to know one another over time. I remember being around him and in groups where he was present. He liked to laugh and joke. I think that's what I remember the most about him. He was also a very smart, thoughtful man. So he was easy to like. Because he was a few years ahead, he was sort of in a mentorship role. He was a little bit of a provocateur, and I think he kind of liked the Leatherman kind of look now and then, and he'd wear like an article of clothing or something to kind of signal who he is. I think he was proud of his German heritage in many ways. He did have some difficulty in reconciling himself as a gay man to some of the culture that was then in Germany when he was growing up. I think it was a challenging mix. And I think coming to the US really afforded him, I think, a little bit more freedom. He was in a relationship, and in a stable relationship, which for some of us who had kind of more recently come out of the closet, that was good to see, and good to see that role modeling that he did. I just remember his partner was kind of much more retiring in some ways. The two of them were an interesting pair of contrast, because Ron could be pretty loud, boisterous kind of person. He definitely was a presence when he came in the room. Ron was one of the trailblazers in the program. He was one of the earlier folks who had come out, and he was pretty comfortable in his own skin when he came to campus. So in some ways he opened a lot of doors and broke a lot of glass ceilings for the group.